Oh my fuckaroni, again? Old players know damn well that the faction screen is really just a glorified victory screen for the Vikings. Except the one time it wasn't. Praise God! However, newer players may not necessarily understand what the whole point of the faction system is about. So I'm here to tell you factually what it means to be a part of each faction and the heroes that are in them. Now there are 3 factions. Excuse me sir, but the Wulin are in the game too. Shut the fuck up, Bobby. Are they on the faction screen? Okay. No, they're not. Then take your chicken ass to the curb, please. Vikings, Knights, and Samurai are the 3 big boys in the game, and within each community is a vastly different attitude and playstyle. Speaking in a broad sense, the faction you choose reflects on your type of personality. So enough dilly-dallying around. As a side note, I'd like to say that I'm not really biased towards any of these factions. I'm just going to give a complete 100 of each of them. Starting us off is of course the greatest and most deserving of praise, the Knights. The Knights are the stalwart defenders of the faith and hardy praisers of the memes. Any actually good memes you find on the For Honor subreddit? A Knight player probably made that. Knights are somewhat neutral, as some like to remain anonymous in the game chat while others are preparing to go on another crusade that's gonna pound the enemy team's booty hole. Continuing on with the neutrality of the Knights, about half of the Knights you encounter utilize the full aspect of the game. This includes, but is not limited to, legend, ganking, and extreme spam bashing. Though, to be fair, you probably deserved it. However, the other half is very much honorable, and will more than likely show a sign of respect before you continue with every duel. Knights are known for their excessive emote spam, constantly buying the greatest spam emotes for each hero. This is integral to Knight society, as if you aren't emote spamming, you aren't praising God enough. Praise God! Unfortunately, there is a subsection of Knights called the Cult of Volcano. Our glorious volcano is of course consecrated grounds, but the massive amount of troops we place on it usually has us losing the overall campaigns. If we could bring ourselves together, then mayhaps we could find our way to true divinity. Next up is a Samurai, or as I like to call them, last place. Samurai are very much the choir boys of For Honor. Most samurai are very much honorable, and to spam brings much dishonor to their family lines. Unless they play the shinobo, the bamboos of the faction. True samurai are very much stoic in the defense of their heroes, refusing to budge on what they believe is true balance of the game, which usually involves their heroes being overly better than every other hero. Samurai are also incredibly stubborn, refusing to take subtle criticism or even jokes without wanting to find your family dog and barbecuing it for dinner later that night. Now, it sounds like I'm mostly shitting on this inferior faction, which would be true, but I must admit that samurai players are usually fantastic in their mix-ups and punishes. They have fantastic game knowledge and know when and where to apply pressure, probably because the acupuncture is what they do for a real-life job. Samurai also have an excessive amount of anime and edge in their heroes that they decide to play, so if you see a high-rep Aramusha running around with black and probably the smoke effect, he is more likely a samurai player. Finally, bringing us to a close is the Vikings. Really, the vast majority of the Vikings is the fuckers who are the rejects of the Knights and Samurais. Generally, traitors and backstabbers come to the Viking side as they enjoy their end-of-season rewards. However, that does not mean that all of the Viking players are really sons of bitches. OG members of the Vikings are ruthless and cunning. Their gameplay consists of just enough skill to be considered good, and just enough spam to be considered toxic. The heroes they choose usually revolve around them having that one trump card that they can just beat the shit out of their opponents with. Another big phrase you'll hear from the Vikings player is, well, it's in the game, so why wouldn't I use it? Warlords are infamous for this line, and this is usually typed immediately after they just ledged you. Unlike the Knights or Samurai, Vikings don't have the time to use a quick access general chat or team messages. Instead, they rely on their emotes to communicate with the rest of the team. However, their IQ is so damn high, it makes it impossible for lesser creatures to understand their seemingly rude gestures. Now I know this was a generalization of all you fine fucking people. Of course you know that I love you and wouldn't shit on you for anything. But seriously, if you jump ship from your faction to another, you need a lobotomy over in the big empty. Thanks for watching.